Right, so we are back attacking the Mazda. Let's get its oil changed this time. Right, so the old MX-5. Let's get the bonnet up. She badly needs an oil and filter change. So let's just put that up there. So if anyone's been following along, which at the moment nobody has because I haven't released the other videos that I filmed at the time of filming this one, never mind. This is my partner's MX-5, and the old girl's had a bit of a hard life. She's been a bit of a, I don't know what you would call it, a dump car. It's basically been passed from one serviceman to another because we have the American Air Base nearby, and not really treated very well along the way. A lot of people, I think, have just driven it, done the absolute bare minimum to it to get it through its MOT, and have just generally neglected it. And then when it came time for them, when their deployment ended and they went back to the States, they just passed it on to someone else who treated it the same. So we fixed the coolant leak that it sprang the other day, and whilst I was doing that, I knew it needed an oil change anyway, but I did check the oil on the dipstick, which we'll do again now. And there just isn't any on there. There is oil in it because of course it's still running, it hasn't completely destroyed itself yet, but clearly it's only the minimum. God knows how old it is. So she's getting an oil and filter change. I want to get an air filter for it as well, but I haven't got one right now. But let's get the oil change first. So to change it, we're going to need, we've got down here one sump plug with gasket. There's two types of gasket in there. We'll find out which one we actually need when we take it off. You don't always have to replace the sump plug, but again, because I don't know how long it's been on there, it's probably best if we put a new one on. Oil filter, which is just a simple screw-on type, nice and easy. And of course your oil. Got 5 litres there. I think it takes like 4.5 or something like that. Is this? I'll check the handbook in a minute. That's all you need. First things first though, I want to try and get it a little bit higher on its axle stand. It's on the lowest setting at the moment for when we're doing the coolant repair, but I need it a little higher because we're going to be going underneath it today. So let's see if we can do that first. So here's another reason I know this car needs a bit of TLC. I was looking for a nice spot to jack this up. And you see that's where I've got the axle stand already. Nice strong spot with the weight squarely on the top of the stand. You can see there, it's already had one bit of the chassis pushed in. Get a better angle on that. And then right next to it, we've got this other nice dent. Clearly someone's been jacking this up with something entirely unsuitable. I suspect like a bottle jack or something for that one. Bottle jack for that one. Probably a trolley jack or something like that for that. Either that or they bottomed it out, but just to get more examples of how much of a hard life this car has had. Poor thing. Right, let's see if we can get it just a little bit higher so I can raise the axle stand a touch. Just take this up a notch. Ugh. Not quite, a little higher. A little bit more. Up you go. There we go. We're in. Right, then down ever so gently onto my axle stand again. very gentle with this bit. Alright. Over the other side. Find a nice spot to raise this up as well. Oh, get in there. Right, okay. A bit higher. Didn't need to go that high, never mind. Right, very gently that down now. There we are. I don't really want to be doing that again, so if it's not high enough for me to get under on my creeper, then I'll just have to crawl under on my back. Let's get on with what we came here for. Right, so first real world use of the creeper here, and I can slide about pretty easily. It's all pretty cramped under here, but we should be able to work with it. Now, first thing I'm noticing, there is a bit of oil on this sump, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. Oh, my light's on, didn't notice that. Whatever. Wait, no, that's just fucking sunlight on my hand. Look at that. Just hold my hand up, it reflects off my pasty white skin. And there we go. Alright, well, there we have hand to sump illumination. And see, there is a bit of oil all over it. I'm not going to worry too much about it. It's old, so if it didn't leak, it'd rust. First thing I'm noticing, though, that sump plug there requires a socket. The one that I've got doesn't. It requires a torque screw. Nothing is ever fucking simple on this car. Right, I'm going to pull it off anyway because I want to see how much oil comes out, which I suspect won't be a right lot, and I want to see what condition the oil is in. So let's go get my spanner set and we'll see what this looks like when we rip it off. Not rip it off, gently unscrew it. Alright, get me sockets out. Now this may look really uncomfortable, and it is to some extent, but I am happy as pig in shit right now. That's too big. Let's try this one. It's also a bit big. Just perfect. 17mm in case anyone's wondering. And what we're going to do is we're going to straighten my hat out first. It's also stopping me getting my fucking ridiculous hair caught in the wheels on my creeper. What we've got here is empty washing detergent bottle. Now you can use anything to catch it, but I chose this partly because it was going in the bin, and also once I pulled the nozzle off, it's got a nice wide neck on it, so it can catch all the oil that comes out. It's 1 gallon, or yeah, 3.88 litres. which is less than what we're going to put in it, but I don't think for a moment it's going to be less than what's already in the engine. So that should be more than enough. So we are just going to whack this on here. And we want to loosen it slightly. Now, which way am I going here? Because I'm upside down now. Yeah, I'm going the right way. Oh, I'm not going anywhere at the moment. Oh, I don't want to budge. Come on. That has not been off in a long time. Am I doing this? Yeah. I keep questioning whether or not I'm turning it the right way, but I am. Let's see if I can't get two hands on this. No, it's definitely not that way. I think it was. Someone's used some Ugga Duggers to put this fucker on. I haven't put the axle stand back in quite the right place either. Never mind. There we go. Oh. Right. There we go, it went at last. That was fucking tight. These sumps normally aren't made of very tough metal, so that should not have been that tight. Fucking hell. Right. Right. Both hands in for this. So, I'm going to hold that up to there like that. There we go. That's very black and a bit lumpy. Not liking the look of that. Still, seen worse. Right, so let that drain. I want to make sure I get as much of that old crappy oil out as possible. So what we'll do is we'll nip inside, get a cup of tea, and then we'll come out in about half hour, an hour, and see how it looks. Just as a demonstration, that's what that sump plug looks like. It's actually in okay condition. Notice there doesn't seem to be much of a gasket on it. I'll check the sump later, see if there's anything still stuck to it. Maybe the previous person who changed this didn't have a seal and just decided, oh well, I'll just tighten it like fuck, that'll do. But you notice the bit that's on my fingers, it's black, it's proper black. And there were some lumps on it. That's just a grass seed that's picked up off the drive. That wasn't in the engine. This is one of those situations where changing the oil transforms the fucking car. I've had that happen to me before. Yeah, this oil adds 50 horsepower. Right, cup of tea and we'll see how well it's drained out in a bit. So in the 1 or 2 minutes it took me to stand up and film that bit looking at my hands and the sump plug, it's already stopped. It's just dripping very slowly. There was fuck all oil in that engine, wasn't there? Alright, we'll let it drip for a little bit anyway, so I really want a cup of tea and I really need a poo. Alright, back to it for a little while. Got me coffee. One thing I forgot to mention earlier when I was letting the sump plug off is before you do that, if you want to do the oil filler cap first, it helps you drain the oil out just that bit faster, and it also stops it from glugging and going everywhere when you do it, when it is coming out. I mean, it didn't do that in this case because there was barely anything in there, but if it had been full, then it'd have been glugging and going all over the bloody place. So yeah, if you undo your oil filler cap, it allows air to get in the top whilst the oil's going out the bottom. Just makes everything that a little bit smoother. Right, let's get underneath and let's pull out that oil. So it's pretty much finished now, and then we can try and get the filter off as well. Right, here we go. It's pretty much stopped draining. Oh, I think the wind's caught it. Look, some of it has missed. A little bit on my drive. Only a tiny speck though. We'll clean that later. Right. Let's have a look in there. Now that's coming across on the camera as quite yellow, but in actual fact it's not. That's just the reflection of the container that it's in. But it is solid black, and there can't be more than a litre in there. I could have sworn this container had a gauge on it that showed you how much was in there. Something that's meant to take 3.8 litres according to the book, which, yep, as you can see, should have filled that. That's not good. Not good at all. Is it, Bella? Is it? That's not good at all, is it? Yes, I know, Bella. I know. So, right, should we try and get this oil filter off? Well, I'm going to do it, aren't I? You're just going to pot around and do fuck all. Right, get down. Right, let's see if we can find this oil filter. Now, I'm not using my creeper here, because I need to get right underneath here. Now, it says in the book, it's on the right-hand side of the engine. I can't fucking see it from the top. Losing my hat. Where is the cunt? This thing is still dripping slightly. Some of it's just gone in my hair. Fuck's sake. It's a good job I'm getting a shower after this, isn't it? Seriously, am I missing something here? That's the something. According to the book, it said it's on the right-hand side of the engine. Well, I mean, sure, it depends which way you're looking at it. I'm not seeing it. Tell me what, I'm thinking corrosion is going to be a big problem for this car in the future. She's had a hard life, but that's what we're here for. Ah, there it is. Oh, there we go. Right, so as it turns out, the oil filter is there. Right where my torch is shining. Who the fuck puts an oil filler there? And if you look down, the cross member is in the way. How the fuck am I going to get in there? Who the fucking hell designed this thing? See, on the original MX-5s, the Mark 1, you can just reach your hand down there. But this one's got this extra bracket on it now. How the fuck am I getting to that? fuck's sake. Right, only way I can see to get to this fucking thing is to take this under tray off. What a stupid design. Right. Get out the fucking way. That's it. There we go. So Mazda, in their wisdom, include a little flap here that you can open to get to the bottom hose on the radiator without undoing the under tray. And there's a little hole for undoing the drain plug on the bottom of the radiator as well. But they don't give you easy access to the oil filter, which I would say you probably need more. That's engineer logic for you. Well, I should. Hopefully. Yes. Get my hand on the oil filter now. Oh. Oh, would you look at that? It comes straight undone. I'm going to adjust that. This is where the camera is probably pointing at my crotch right now. Yeah, look at that. Just unscrews. That was no worse than opening a pop bottle. Feels weird. Right, there she is. That's the old oil filter. Not new. It also doesn't look that old either. And it's got a lot of crud on it. I'm a bit concerned about all this. Could be road dirt, it could be oil. There's still a bit of oil in it. We'll just pour that into here. I have heard something people do is they'll, when they're doing an oil change, is they'll put a little bit of oil in, or say like half a litre less than what it calls for, start it, let it run for a couple of seconds so that it fills the oil filter up with oil, and then they'll put the rest in, because then you know you've got the exact amount in. So if you put in the exact amount that it says to put in, as soon as you start it, you're going to drop an amount because it's got to fill up its oil filter. So we'll leave that like that overnight to drain. It is now, what time are we on now? It's now 9:05 at night and we're really starting to lose the light. I'm going to quickly compare this oil filter with the new one that we've got, but I don't know if we're going to have time to get it all back together tonight. Then again, we might do. I want to check. Has the seal come off with this? It has. Excellent. You always want to make sure the seal comes off with it. If you double seal your oil filter, they don't seal. They just fucking leak everywhere. Good. Right, you can see under there a little bit. It was just going to drain onto the under tray. That's just what's dripping out the side of the engine. We'll leave the under tray there overnight. It makes a nice little catch can. Bella. Makes a nice little catch can. Leave that there as well. Right. Time to call it a night, maybe. Oh, we have to do some more work on the cars, Bella. Are we? Are we going to go work on the cars? Eh? Are you going to help me with your big stupid ears? Yes. Come on then. Right, let's get back to it then. It's had more than enough time to drain. A lot more, as in several days, because yet again, I had other stuff to be getting on with in the meantime. So, but it will be done today. probably. Right, so first things first, there's supposed to be a washer on this thing, and there is not. I've checked the driveway, haven't dropped it at all, which means either it never had one or it's still attached to the sump. So we're going to crawl under the car, double check where this sits in the sump, make sure there isn't a washer stuck in place, because as with gaskets you don't want to be doubling up on your washers, because it doesn't double the amount of seal, it just reduces it to 0. And if there isn't one there, then we'll just say, oh well, that's indicative of the exemplary service history that this vehicle has, and we'll put one of our spare washers on. We're going to reuse this sump plug because even though it was way over tightened when I took it out, it's actually in pretty okay nick, and the one that was delivered is different. So let's climb under the car and see what we can see. I know, Bella, I'm doing something weird, aren't I? Alright, alright. There definitely ain't a washer there either. So I'm going to be forced to conclude that it never fucking had one. Okay. Well, let's get the new one in. Right, so we'll use the top of the wheelie bin for this because I still don't have a proper trolley. This is the original sump plug. This is the one that was sent. Now, you can tell just from that end, they're different. And they're also smaller than each other. But they're also completely the wrong size. Hold them up to each other. You see, the new one is obviously not going to fit, which is a bit of a disappointment, but never mind. But we did get these 2 washers with them. Now, because we don't have a washer on its way out, it's difficult to know which one to use. And we've got this one, which is a sort of metal one with a rubber inside to it. No real indication of which way around it goes, I don't think it matters. Oh, we've got this nice copper crush washer. Both of them fit nicely, but I think for the purposes of this, we're going to go with the one with the rubber insert, because when I push it over, it just makes it all the way to the edge. So yeah, we'll go with that one. Let's get it all tightened up, and then all we've got to do is pop the new filter on and fill her up with oil. So far, nothing's gone wrong, which feels weird. In case anyone's wondering, it is a 17mm socket that you need for it. It's not a completely snug fit, but it's 16, doesn't fit at all. So that's what you need. I'm going to do it up, not as tight as it was, because that was fucking ridiculous to undo. Yeah, do it up with the old ratchet like we did last time. Alright, let's see if this works. This on the way there. It's going to be, what's that doing to it? That's loosening it. First, complicating the matter. There we go. There we go. do it up tight, but not mega tight like it was before, because that was fucking ridiculous. There we go. That's not going anywhere. So I've just noticed whilst I'm under here, this car has 2 horns. Why? We shall have to look into that. Also, there's a section of power steering hose which comes from the pump, which is here, down around the corner of the radiator, then goes up the front of the radiator, all the way across to the other side, does a loop, and comes all the way back, and goes back the way it came. Why? Again, I need to do some reading up on this. Anywho, let's go get the filter. Right, so back on the wheeler bin, as I said earlier, the filter that's arrived is slightly different. As you can see, it's a little bit longer. Hold them up against each other, there's about an extra centimetre or so, but they look to be the same. The new one is ever so slightly wider, but the internal opening is the same. I'm going to try it, see if it fits. Curious. Don't know why I just did that, but whatever. Again, they change parts all the time, so this may be normal. There's every chance this is a part for the American market, given that the previous owner was an American serviceman. Oh look, I've got monkey finger marks on it now. So yeah, again, it does look like the seal has come away with the old filter, but we'll just double check the housing to make sure there isn't another seal in there, and then this will hopefully screw straight on. The actual screwy bit in the middle looks to be the same. So yeah, hopefully we'll have a bit of luck this time. So, right, let's give it a go. Oh, right. Now, how did I get to this? It was up there. Yeah, there it is, I can see. And there's definitely no second seal on there. Good. Top tip, it actually says on the side of the filter to do this, but before you put it on, you need to just oil the seal. Now you can use finger grease, don't use WD-40 or anything like that, or you can just use engine oil. Here what I've done is I've just dipped my finger in some of the old engine oil. I'm just running it around the seal before I put it on. Don't have to be much, just enough to moisten it. Right. Now, hand up in there. I'm peering between two of these power steering pipes, and then between the alternator and its bracket, and between those 4 things I can just see where the oil filter goes to screw it on. There we go, it's screwing straight on, and it looks like we're making a nice fit too. Excellent. The hardest part of all this is going to be getting the fucking under tray back on, actually. Sort of wedges at the back, and there's 3 screws at the front. That's not going anywhere. Alright, but we'll do the under tray last. Just make sure. Yeah, I can't get that any tighter. And it's made a nice, see, it's a perfect fit, in fact. Good. At least we've got one thing right from the parts shop. Right, put some oil in the old girl. Right, so this is the oil we've got. Triple QX. You may or may not have heard of it, but it's actually been used increasingly frequently in garages, including main dealerships now. It's perfectly good oil. 10W40, which is the correct one for this car, for this engine. We need 3.8 litres. We've got 5, but you can't really buy it. Some of the more expensive brands come in 4 litre ones, but it's not actually any cheaper. It's cheaper to buy 5 litres of this brand than 4 litres of a more expensive brand. Whatever. So yeah, we'll start by pouring in 3 litres because it does come with a handy little gauge on the side. Then we'll check the level and then we'll put a little bit more in as we need. Now I can't remember if I showed this earlier. This is what I use to drain it out. And this is a 3.88 litre tub. So it should have filled that. Not even close. There can't be more than 1 litre in there. It's really bad. Oh, where's that gone? Drop into the fucking fan, Stuart, you're a fucking genius. These also come with, get it on camera, a little poury thing, which pops out when you undo the lid to help you not spill it, which is quite cool. Alright, here we go. Try not to spill too much of it. Oh, do mate, we've spilled it already. That's 1 litre, that's already more than it had in it. Let's keep going, shall we? Oh shit. I'm making proper fucking pig's ear with this. Note to self, case of a fucking funnel next time, Stuart. That's another litre. Oh, fuck's sake, Stuart, you fucking useless cunt. Note to self, must remember to buy a fucking funnel next time I'm down at the heart shop. How the fuck have you done this, Stu, you fucking idiot? And there she is. Now it's on the maximum. Maybe a little over. That's fine because the thing is still on axle stands. So it's bound to read slightly over. We've put pretty much bang on 3 litres in it. So I think what we'll do is we'll drop her down off the axle stands and then recheck the level. First things first though, let's put the under tray back on before I make life way too hard for myself. Well, I am mighty glad I remembered to do that before taking it off the axle stands. That would have been a pain in the arse otherwise. It's in. It's a very snug fit. Also, it was meant to have an extra, at least 2 screws, probably 3 here, but they're missing. Probably rusted and broken off. So just got to tuck it up and under. That's how it was before, and it's not going to go anywhere. Might be off. Different to next. Right, let's get it down. Spot that I've jacked it from last time. That was it. Right there, I think. Alright. There we go. Right. Down gently. There's the dog. Stay there, Bella. There we go. Right. Let's do the other side. It lifted the back more than the front. Whoops. Very gently now. This car looks kind of strange now. It's back on its normal wheels. I don't know what that dunk was as it was coming down off the last axle stand. I think the cup on the jack just shifted slightly as the car tipped back the right way up, but it's almost broken. It's so low down. Right, let's check the oil level now. It's on the level. Let's see if we can need to put a bit more in. There she is. Exact same level. Maybe a little over the top. One thing that probably hasn't happened yet is we haven't filled the oil filter, which may be that extra 100 millilitres or so that we're looking for. But to do that, we've got to give the girl a start. Right, well, I'm getting to the point where I've just about had enough with this car. I can get it in shot. Down there, you can see, is the oil filter. And coming out the bottom of it there is the oil leak from said oil filter. And it's really coming out. You may even get to see it drip in a second. And it gets faster if I rev the engine up. So either it just needs to be tightened, even though it's as tight as I can get it by hand, or it's not sealed properly. Either way, I'm starving and I've just about fucking had enough with this car for today. Why can nothing ever just go smoothly? Right, Bella, today's the day the car gets fixed, doesn't it? Because I have a medieval torture device. Better fucking work this time. Okay, right. And angle that in there. You can see I've got it on. I'm just going to nip it up. There's actually quite a bit more tightening on this. Oh, bugger, it's fallen off. Fucking hell. Oh, cock it now, look what's happened. Fuck's sake. Oh, I admit, this was nowhere near tight enough. My mistake. I think because the other one came off so easily, I thought this could just be done up finger tight, but no, this has actually got a lot more tightening to go. It's a shame it's in such a fucking awkward location. Bollocks. Right, that's as tight as it's going to go. It's actually started to put little dents in the filter. That was a fucking pain in the arse. Get my head in there. Yeah. Right, let's start up and see what happens. Fucking hell, that was more difficult than it should have been. Right, there she is. No sign of a leak just yet. That's good. The oil that is there is just left over from earlier. But I don't see any fresh oil. Let it run for a bit. Oh, there's a bit of smoke from where I spilt it last time. Mind, that'll burn off. We're on to a winner at last. Let's give it a few revs and see what happens. Excellent. Right, we're going to call that done. There's no sign of any leaks. The oil level is good. So yeah, jobs are good. And apart from that leaky oil filter, that went relatively without a hitch. So yeah, I'm happy with that. As you can see, I've got a couple of cars blocking her in, so we're going to do a bit of shifting around, and then I think we can take her for a quick spin up the road and make sure everything's okay. Job's a good one.